Okay, so QWER, who for ease I call QWER, have got a brand new song that's just come out. Well, it came out a few hours ago, and I am here to check this out. And the funny thing is that even though this only came out, well, earlier today, I only checked out the last QWER song 4 days ago. That was Youth Pledge, a song that they wrote and recorded all by themselves, seemingly, and kind of furthering this fact that they are an interesting band who are hopefully bringing this idea of the coolness of being in a band, of playing your own instruments and creating your own sound. Hopefully they're bringing that into the J-pop space, and this is one of the reasons why I've been following them so much and why I'm so excited for what they do, because as mentioned, I had a lot of connection with Korean music back in the day, and I lived with Korean people back in London, and as a result, I kind of followed Korean music for a fair period of time, but it's lost me a lot over the last 10 years. It's just become, well, it doesn't feel like it's reinventing. And then QWER have come along, and I feel like they are a shot back in the arm. Their inspiration from things like Bocce the Rock, through Egg Kim, all of this kind of stuff, seems to be showing a band who are bringing the idea of being a band, that coolness, to Korea and to the K-pop sound. Now, this is not to say there are a lot of Korean bands who we already love. Rolling Quartz, fantastic. Rum Kicks as well, if you want proper underground music, then you got them. There's a lot of great Korean music, but it does mean something special when you've got a band who are able to, through just a mixture of things, bring the band coolness up to that top flight of, chart-topping success. So I'm a great supporter that hopefully this will have a, dare I use the expression, a trickle-down effect where their success will hopefully sort of help elevate a lot of the bands from the underground scene. And you never know, Korea could have a scene similar to what we have here in Japan with a really healthy underground music scene. I know there's a lot of people there who want it. And whether you see QWER as being a K-pop band or what, I think they are definitely a useful instrument in really changing the way people look at music. So every time they got a new song, I'm excited for it. I want it to do well. I want it to be something else that furthers that message that they can both get through to those K-pop fans and yet at the same time show that there's something else you can do. Nothing against K-pop either. It's just we've had a lot of years now of choreography and very similar looking music videos. Let's have someone who can refresh the Korean sound. That's going to be QWER. That's a long intro I just gave you there. 2.5 minutes of me waffling. This song is called Play We Do. There we go. I'm going to like it in advance. But so I sometimes say that with songs like this. It's more my like to lose than my like to gain. Anyway, let's have a look at this one. Fingers crossed. Oh, it's short. It's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Immediately liking that up-tempo vibe. Are they the same headphones from Neat Game by Hanamiya? Oh, the mix is nice. Loving that bright sound. Oh, they're on a rooftop, I just realised. You've got to have a rooftop music video if you're in a band. Do you know,
next round.
Just hearing like a guitar sounding like a guitar, a bass sounding like a bass, it's very satisfying. It's still got a lot of K-pop catchiness to it. They're really playing up those band sounds and I love that. This is like a really good pop rock song. It's kind of like more pop than anything, but it feels like a band song. really well produced. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but it just looks so fun. This is, yeah. Oh shit, there's a it's a corporate tie-in. I wondered why the word "do" was in there. I was do. Why do? Why that word? Oh man. Oh, okay. Oh no. Let's talk about the song first of all, shall we? All right, so man, wait. Sorry, that just really caught me off guard. Okay, so in regards to the song, first of all, this is the thing which is interesting because I've spoken so many times about, you know, every time I'm doing one of these videos, someone gets in the comments and tells me about how, you know, why certain people are against this band, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of put that aside. We've heard them play live. They can definitely play. We've heard them, you know, write their own songs now, and they can do good, catchy pop rock songs. So when I hear this, like, I'm just kind of asking myself, it's somewhere between how do I feel based on what they are, and just how is it as a piece of music and as a music video? Just how is it as a piece of entertainment if you take away all of the backstory, all the lore, and just, you know, really enjoy it as a piece of media, which is kind of, you know, that's really the test that everything needs to be held up with, if you're honest. Now, first of all, yeah, just to get the obvious out of the way, I say, if you consider it in the light of the backstory of the band, then, yeah, I think this does a great job of, again, furthering that whole thing of having the K-pop catchiness that you want. Sorry, I need to take that off the screen. That's just really bothering me that I got an advert on the screen. There we go. That's a nice frame. I love that it's got, like, the... It's got the K-pop catchiness. It definitely, if you already like K-pop for being catchy and melodic, this is going to be enough to bring you along. Those facial expressions are distracting as well. But, you know, it's got all of the things that you would want from a K-pop song. And from a side of a pop rock song, yeah, I love the fact that it really sounds, you can hear the instruments all the way through that bass rumble. You can really kind of hear the sound of the, you know, the fingers on the strings. It really kind of has that nice earthy bass sound. And then I like there was a little break where they have the side sticks, the 1, 2, 3, and you can really hear that. And you can hear they turn that up high in the mix just to sort of re-emphasize this is a real band. And I really got the feeling that the way this was mixed and produced in the studio was so well done, because it has that lively, full, clean sounding bounce of a professional pop song, but it mixes it with, you can really tell that they wanted to make sure all the instruments actually sounded like instruments, so there was no question over the validity of what you were hearing. And I think that is where the balance was perfectly done. And in the writing that comes across as well, as mentioned, it's got that kind of 2-stage chorus that is really good for getting you sort of being catchy. It comes in with a big sort of sing-along bit, and then you have a held a long note at the end that gets stuck in your head. That's the earworm, the hook. You know, it does all of those things really well, and yet at the same time, again, sounds like a band song. Now, if we take this from, therefore, if we remove all of that and we just look at it purely as a piece of music, would I come back to this? Would I listen to this? I feel like this would fit in really nicely in a pop rock playlist. Again, the catchiness does make it a rewarding re-listen that's going to make it stay in your brain, make you want to come back and listen to it over and over again. I can see myself coming back to this just because it's fun and bouncy. Definitely. From a musical perspective, yes, obviously they get a lot of freedom for the fact that they are comparatively, they're not totally new musicians. They've been doing this for long enough now that they're, you know, you can tell that they're up to a certain level, but they're comparatively new. I think they've hit that kind of branch, which I feel it's an important branch for a lot of Japanese bands, and it's one that this is one of the defining moments between one of the reasons why I like Japanese bands and why I struggle with Western bands, is because we're kind of at that point where they're good enough now that I want to hear things like, for example, the bassist playing a bass line that is not so tightly hooked into the guitarist. Because at the moment they're doing what a lot of junior bands do, where the bass and guitar are basically playing the same notes, and that's kind of all well and good, but now we need to get to the point well, this is more like a future thing. I'm looking forward to hearing the bassist doing bass lines that deviate a little bit away from the guitar, just a couple of little walking bits just to give the songs a bit more thickness. You know, the drummer, you can see, is starting to have a bit of fun, adding a little bit more flair. Doesn't have to be overcomplicated, but just they can start to flesh out their sound. But at this moment in time, right now, yeah, this is a very satisfying listen. I would definitely come back to this for fun. It's not quite got enough nuance that it's gonna like have me coming back probably as many times as some of like, you know, I think about bands like Necky and songs like Dreams by Necky. That's one of their more sort of pop rocky songs. That's kind of the area where I would want to compare those kind of songs. For me, though, this is definitely, like I say, definitely good music. I would definitely come back to it. Definitely catchy, fun. The video was tons of fun as well. I did like that it managed to, it had some of the K-pop sort of over-the-top graphics and stuff and the little member highlight moments they do in K-pop videos, but it didn't feel like just another generic K-pop video. It felt kind of fresh. I like the fact that they have that rooftop scene. That's very reminiscent of, well, ironically, that's a trope of Japanese underground music videos, is every band who's coming up in Japan has to do a video where they stand on the rooftop and play, because it's just like the easiest way in the city. It's the easiest way to get a cool backdrop. So, you know, they had that, which was cool, but they added that with a little bit of the graphics, a little bit of the pizzazz. I feel, again, the music video, like the song, was a great crossover between the idea of having something which is both poppy, uses the fact we all know they got a budget behind them, and then combines that with a slightly earthy, real sense of just genuineness. So I got a lot of just good vibes from this. And again, really this leads us on to the final conclusion of, does this continue the good thing that QWER can do for the Korean music scene? And I would say, if anything, this is the best example yet. Now, I believe this is heading up a new release, Zero coming soon. So I'm guessing Zero is the name of the new album, I'm guessing. Okay, if they got a new album called Zero coming, then yeah, great. I don't know. Maybe it's an album, maybe it's a mini album, maybe it's another song. I don't know. But yeah, I am genuinely excited for this. I actually just came back from Korea a couple of days ago. I think I mentioned that in the last video I did. I just came back from Korea a couple of days ago. And I was hoping to hear like QWER's music when I was just walking around the shops. Like you hear a lot of music on the radio here when you're just walking around shops in Japan. I didn't hear any. And I'm looking forward to the day that I do, because honestly, like, I want this band to do well. I do. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Get in the comments, as always. Tell me what you think. I think this is a good summer playlist song. Definitely a good indicator of a future we can be happy about, and definitely good news for the music industry if this continues to catch on as it is doing. So, yep, they keep my like for sure. Like I say, get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.